How's life in lockdown, man?
I think it's a learning curve now. This is something I would say for the last 25 years, never had an opportunity to really slow down. This probably has been like from a top gear to almost a first gear
Wow.
and a glimpse to what post-retirement would be. Now
Wow.
at least I have an opportunity to sit in front of a laptop and do something with
Uh-huh.
at house. But
Okay.
then that opportunity won't be there to sit in front, and then still what I have to do, I really don't know. So
Wow.
probably this is a wake-up call.
Interesting. So, what is your normal day in office like versus what is it now? Like, is there a
The only change that thing I still start at about 8 o'clock in the morning till
uh-huh.
about 7:30 in the evening. But
Yeah.
this lap desk and the laptop is still on, so I can I the only bad habit is like even at 10 o'clock I come and check the emails at
Right.
night. But working hours is the same.
Mhm.
The only travel part is moved out. But I think
How much time are you saving on travel?
3 hours.
3 hours. So okay. So if you're saving 3 hours on travel, are you picking up new hobbies to sort of, utilize that time? Because if I
Yes.
had the extra hours, so what are you doing these days? That's new.
Uh, okay, I have a lot of interest to read books, so books have been engaged in me. So few of the books which I had gone through in the past,
Mhm.
and then some of my books are still locked in my office and my cabin. So then I downloaded it on my Kindle and got it on PDF. So I read them and
Okay.
started to like ensure most of the books I can go through.
Oh, all right. That's nice. And what about the component business? Like this lockdown is something that none of us sort of predicted, and it's not something that anybody could have been prepared, like as an individual, as a business. So, what's sort of been the learning in the first few weeks, when this lockdown happened?
So there was in the initial stage there was lot of anticipation and even the assessment to situation like whether it would open in 3 weeks time or okay 4 weeks time. That initial assessment was no one had, and then there were feelers that online space would still open up. So we
Right.
were having a lot of skepticism on whether uh, the online guys can do some business. So
Mhm.
everyone started focusing on online. Then they said no, some green zones would open. So started figuring out who are the green zones.
Right.
Then we came to the reality that okay, whoever starts whenever, but the point is they would only liquidate the stocks that they have it on hand
Yes.
because all the ports are sealed.
Okay.
All the major ports, call it Delhi, Mumbai, Chennai, Bangalore, these are all red zones.
Right.
So
Yeah.
nothing is going to go out of the customs apart from the essential till the government doesn't declare this as essential.
Okay. All
So
right.
whatever stock is there with the partners or on the online space will be only consumed.
Mm.
The ones at the distributor's warehouse will have a lot of government policies to really move it out.
Right.
So it's surely very clear that business will not start till the time the channel space doesn't open. So we are
Right.
prepared for that.
So, how has that sort of impacted your, your launch cycles, your forecast for the business? Also, the lockdown happened at a very interesting period. Like it was end of financial year, also beginning of financial year. So, in the laptop and desktop space, it's anticipated that once the lockdown lifts, there'll be a great demand. That should sort of make up for the lost revenue. But do you see the same thing in the PC component side as well?
PC components I divide into two categories. One, just the desktop, which would primarily be the components that go inside the
Right.
PC. And for ASUS portfolio, we have products which are outside the PC.
Right.
So for us, the revenue generators are wireless products.
Mhm.
We have monitors,
Right.
we have
Yes.
peripherals,
Hmm.
and we also have the mini PC.
Yes. Yeah.
So the
Yeah.
small offices who really don't want those kind of high-end desktops
Right.
or don't want to go with the laptops, they are doing a lot with these kind of work from home devices.
Hmm.
For the headsets, for keyboard mice, the peripheral segment did good. So two segments, if I pick it up, wireless and LCD, the
Hmm.
big screen,
Right.
about 24-inch, really did a lot of demand. And I think some way partners are trying to move it out from their generator, revenue generator.
Hmm. Interesting. So
Surely.
when do we see more budget-friendly ROG monitors?
I think there are two contradicting words. One is ROG and one is budget friendly. But yes,
Uh,
we'll be looking at, because earlier the ROG used to be only above the 27 inches.
yes.
We also got the VG series in the 24 and the 25. But what happens is the global community, when they are into the gaming or the ROG space, they don't go below 24-inch.
Right. Absolutely.
So having a screen size of 24-inch, that budget price will be there. Because what Asus does is not just have a 24-inch, but then they add a lot of its own features into it. And
Right.
when we are going to a gamer, I don't think a gamer should compromise on features at this moment, because he's not just one who is using for uh, recreation purpose. He's a serious gamer who
Right.
goes for an ROG monitor. So may it be the 1 millisecond or the zero point 0.5 milliseconds that we designed. So I would say the 0.5 would be for the niche segment now, and the 1 milli would be for the generic crowd now.
For the generic. Wow, that's interesting. Yeah. Also, there's this tough series that you brought to India, which is very. A lot of people say it's like the ROG monitors rebadged in a more budget-friendly approach. Of course, they have their own pros and cons. The newest series that there's a lot of anticipation for are these the new 27-inch 2K monitor with 144 hertz and 1 ms response time and G-Sync. A lot of people are saying that's like the best combination, and it's an IPS panel. But I believe the launch of that monitor has been delayed significantly. Can you give us some insight into what else has sort of been delayed due to the situation?
In this situation, there are a lot of products that got delayed. We have a lot of gaming peripherals that got delayed because of it. We had a plan for a lot of ProArt series monitors as well as the ProArt series PCs.
Nice.
That got delayed. A lot of mini PCs, new versions were delayed. Even the motherboard and the graphic card, new feature-rich products were delayed. So I would say the launch per se was not that important, but the product availability is more important. So technology, the information is there on the net everywhere. People are aware about it.
Right.
But the point is when I can have a hands-on to it, and
Right.
that is the bigger challenge now.
Okay.
But we have been trying to get the allocations done. It is there at the port. We have requested our distribution partners to ship those. We are getting it into the India ports and parking it there.
Okay.
And we are paying high premium demurrage cost for that.
Okay. Yeah.
But it's like the moment things open up, we can actually cater to the Indian market.
Right, right. Interesting. So once the lockdown lifts, so what is your anticipation? Do you think that, um, you know, the purchase trends, the way people have been consuming products, buying products, that will remain the same when we go back, or is something set to change? Like, has this lockdown sort of changed something permanently, in your opinion?
I think with social distancing in mind, till the time we don't have any vaccine or any kind of medical solutions coming up, the social distancing will prevail.
Right.
So, people going out to the market and buying it will not that be easy. But having said that, many partners would probably get into the mode of selling online now.
Right.
Many retail partners will have doorstep deliveries.
Okay.
So the consumer wouldn't have to travel. So
Right.
people would rely more on delivering the products, and that could be using any kind of courier services or those kind of facilities. So when I say online, I wouldn't just rely on the top giants on online, but the
Right.
smaller players also would rely on door-to-door delivery. So
Yeah.
a system integrator will get it at its door.
Like we've got the popular ones. You've got IT Depot, you've got MD Computers, Prime TV, who are, in my opinion, far more reliable than the big e-commerce platforms. But there has been, and this has been my conversation with your team over extended periods of time, that one of the challenges to sourcing ASUS products online has been authenticity. So if I go to Amazon and I search for Strix Flare, the keyboard, I'll find one for 25 grand. Okay. and I could find one on Flipkart for 18. But I don't know if it's an authentic seller, if it's a genuine product, or if it's an import. So have and now with consumer behavior shifting significantly to the online space, like you said, whoever the retailer may be, are you guys also looking into how do you sort of give the buyer the confidence that they're buying from a genuine source?
Yes. So one is if you benchmark price as a parameter, that's on the seller who is quoting it. So
Okay.
some want a reasonable margin, some are short of funds, so they just want to just discount and clear their stock. But we
Okay.
will monitor it in such a way that we have been requesting both these giant players to list out the products on a daily basis to us, so we
Okay.
know how the price fluctuation is happening,
All
and
right.
then we can pick and choose those partners not to go below the prescribed price level.
Okay.
So this will help have a healthy price balance.
Mhm.
So, the other part of it is it will give the consumer the confidence that there is no difference of product because
Hmm.
of the price. So it's a genuine product, but
Genuine.
quoted at different price points. So we will ensure that partner who is listing is also verified by us.
Right. Okay.
So these kind of steps have already been taken. We have been doing this correction on the wireless product, on the monitor range of products.
Okay.
The peripherals, we found some partners who got choked up
Hmm.
to spill it over some way, but that also has been corrected.
Yeah. So I've always believed that if there was a list of authorized sellers that you guys would host on your website, it really helps the consumer to sort of make sure that they're buying from the right source. And lately, like even with the MRP, so this was happening a lot in the laptop space initially. Manufacturers would not list out the price of a laptop, and therefore resellers would just sort of go crazy because the buyer had no clue what is the reference price. So are you also looking at sort of putting out a reference price for a lot of your devices so that the buyer knows that what they're buying is a fair price, or are you going to just keep monitoring that in the background and like ensuring consumer safety?
So I think in the fair price listing, the government has already made MRP as a standard parameter.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay, so that mandatorily comes up in the site, like, but it is not mentioned in any of the websites because
Exactly.
these players don't want to put the maximum retail price. They put some price and they say 20% discount, 30% discount.
Right.
So this listing will be there on our site, but
Okay.
technically what happens is we are a marketing uh, company, so
Right.
we will not be able to put the sales price of.
That's fair, right? So, for example, somebody browsing your motherboards should be able to see, okay, this is the MRP, so I should not be paying higher than that.
Yeah, that is there. That
That
will be mentioned so that he is secured about, okay, I am paying something at par or lower than that.
Yeah,
Not someone just trying to rack that price up.
exactly.
But
So,
that has been done for a long time. Some plus minus ambiguities keep happening, but we'll
right,
have to keep monitoring that.
cool. I keep sending you guys notes.
No problem.
And you spoke about a lot of consumers might be shifting to doorstep delivery of products, but don't you feel that for um, like keyboards, mice, even monitors, peripherals especially, there's a very strong component to the feel. Like people want to try it out before they buy it. And I think that's one of the reasons why the retail model for Asus has been so popular. Like I think you guys sell more offline than you've done online right now, for now, because users are actually able to try out a keyboard or the mouse, how it feels in the hand, and then make a decision to buy it. Because like personally, for example, when I want to buy something online and I'm not sure about it, I wouldn't do it simply because I'm thinking, okay, if it doesn't work out, then there's a return period, there's that hassle, replacement hassle. Why do I want to get into it? Let's just not buy it. So how do you sort of address that challenge?
So to look at this problem, we have to break down the post lockdown period into two phases.
Okay.
The first the first phase is when the consumer is buying out of necessity.
Okay.
So that is the crucial 1 or 2 months period when consumer just says that I need it. For
Right.
those who say that I just want a PC and then I can wait for it, will be the second phase guys who still would say let me go and see how the product looks like. More
Right.
than it's very similar to have a laptop. The images are there, but I need to see how it looks in front of me.
Right.
But if I say okay, my laptop has conked off, Now I need a laptop. Whether I should look at the design at this moment or I should look the usability.
Right.
There will be the cases. So we should divide the situation into a first phase of post lockdown and a second phase.
Okay.
First phase of post lockdown is urgency.
Right.
So that time I think everyone would buy just, let me just buy this at this moment, and if anything, then I will see you talking about it.
Okay.
Plus, this would give chance to that replaceable things.
Right.
Try it for 1 week and then say no, I don't find it good, and then replace it. So the demand for replaceable products will increase.
Okay. And what are you doing for your existing customers right now? You know, everything is shut down. There's no possibility of service, repair, etc. So, is there any way you're staying in touch with your existing customers who may be having problems or who may be, looking for a solution or anything of that sort?
Yes. So in terms of service, we have our helplines that are still on.
Okay.
Okay. We have our mails connected. So
Okay.
there is a team who does a troubleshooting online also.
All right.
Most of the time, 60% of the cases can be handled on troubleshooting online. But if
Okay.
it's serious hardware issues, then there are challenges because of the zones that are created. Sometimes we are not not able to reach them, and that is where the helpless situation exists. But
Right.
online and technical supports are still there. A lot of mails that would reach us directly here, and we also have a mail ID called as reachus@asus.com.
Okay.
So consumers, partners can directly mail that, and all the top management guys can get it. So we
Okay.
know where it is happening and what is happening. And yeah, and even at this moment, I should say all efforts that we put in place, I think the consumer is more understanding at this moment. He understands the situation. He is facing a problem, but he understands our dilemma and situation as well. So I think that is a good part of understanding from the consumer side.
That's nice. And are you also contemplating extending warranties like a lot of smartphone companies and laptop companies as well? They've
That's
extended.
already done.
Oh, that's
For our
already
notebook team and the mobile team, they have already announced it.
right. But on the peripheral side,
On the peripheral side is the same. So
Is it-
for us, as an overall brand, it doesn't come as product. My
Okay.
customer is not going to suffer because of it. Because post lockdown, I would say post 23rd March, we are very clear. The consumer cannot reach our place.
yeah,
There is no DOA, but if his RMA is getting over, we will have to evaluate case to case basis.
right. Of course, that's true.
So that will be there. That consideration case to case basis will be there.
Awesome, great. Thank you so much for taking out time, Vinay. This has
pleasure,
been
sir.
extremely enlightening, and all the best for post-lockdown India. I hope things work out in your favor, and and thank you for joining us.
Thank you very much.